Hello and welcome to Roanoke Abyss, and here's a game between Captain Chlorgas and CARL170S. Probably two of my favorite players, really nice guys, and always nice to play against them because their ratings are very similar to mine, so usually close games, pretty exciting. It's not like playing against somebody like Voodoo or Zoc or Uber, where you just know it's gonna suck. But here it's usually pretty good. So CARL170S going first land, whole bunch of power with the ACU, looks like two mass extractors. I'll go with the EF and Cybern for CHLORGAS. CHLORGAS usually always plays Cybern. He's got a whole bunch of air factories planned as well. Of course on Roanoke Abyss, a lot of early rocks if you can get to them. You can micro engineers to them. Get them in time. It's nice juicy chunks of mass for your build order. So you can get creative, but otherwise this map very brutal. You got a lot of space to cover, 6 islands which are all equivalent, so you got to grab this as soon as possible. If you find yourself on 2 versus 4 islands, eventually you will lose, but if you can get a strong navy, you're going to be in good shape. But I think the first stage is all Tech 1 air. Whoever has Tech 1 air control is going to have a huge opportunity to grab map control, and then from there you can make a superior navy. It's really difficult to deny navy in all different spots. There's so many different places you can start building it. You can see both players, the engineer just spraying out in all directions. 5 engineers for CARL170S, 3, should be another one somewhere. Just looks like 3 for CHLORGAS. He does have a navy planned with a single engine scout. And here minute 3 you don't see any bombers, which is a bit disappointing. Actually CARL170S would have paid a pretty big price. He's just starting his air factory. While the air factory for CHLORGAS is finished, and had he known, if he sends an early scout, which he has, he's going to find out the air factory is just being constructed, and I expect CHLORGAS just to start making transports or bombers. But after this bomber, I'd love to see him get a couple transports, get as much map control as possible, because he should have air control for a while. And actually, he also knows that these engineers are going to be very secure, no bombers coming their way. Well, let's see what CARL170S just do. Just make an interceptor cell in another air factory. But CARL170S gets an engineer pretty early. Very important to see if he finishes that. A bomber actually going to the other island from CHLORGAS. So this engineer might be in trouble unless CARL170S can shoot down the Tech 1 bomber. But you can see there are covering interceptors from CARL170S, but I think this bomber is going to avoid the patrol route. More inties moving out for CARL170S. Looks like he is going to be in a mission to perhaps try to kill some transports. Still don't see any transports. CARL170S, actually, CHLORGAS actually going up in tech. Perhaps thinking about ACU drops. ACU drops pretty good on this map, and here comes the first bombs. He's going to take a bit of dodging action from CARL170S. He is in danger of losing this island. And yeah, he's got no engineers in sight in this position. He's got to get transports or something to try to recover it. He does have first naval factories on their way. Very similar in terms of naval production from 2 players. Of course, late game, EF Navy with their shields do have an advantage. Although, if you watch some of Lucian's replay, he's made Cyber Navy very proud with those battleships. Of course, I think if you make battleships against Cyber battleships with EF, you will still win. So let's see, looks like 3 air factories, 3 land factories, so it's a lot of engineers, so a lot of build capacity. A couple Tech 2 mass extractors. CHLORGAS here at Tech 2, so he's ready to go to Tech 2 power. He's got a lot of Tech 1. CHLORGAS going Tech 2 with the air factory. He's also got quite a few Tech 2 mass extractors. He's actually very much ecoing very hard here. Getting more naval factories as well, but his big problem is this island. He is going to drop and walk. So he's going to grab it a little later than CHLORGAS. CHLORGAS has quite a few more mass extractors. But one thing he doesn't have is factories on these. Very vulnerable to drops. One thing we saw with CARL170S, he built factories right away, so he's not going to reclaim all those trees as well. So it's perhaps a slight advantage to CHLORGAS here coming up minute 10. Navy is still in just Tech 1, some submarines. We see non-stop scouting, and this bomber, already with 3 kills, takes out a mass extractor. A couple frigates moving out for CHLORGAS. I gotta say, there's been a lot more scouting for Chlorgas than for CARL170S. CARL170S just grabbing these islands and then going straight into tech. He's not getting tech to power, nothing being made by the tech to air factory. And looks like he's also going to get tech 2 with his ACU, so a bit strange. Actually, surprising from both players. Actually, no. Now we know why CARL170S got tech 2. He's going to drop with his ACU. Should be spotted by this raider, so he's actually could be in a bit of trouble. Because this is enough interceptors to shoot him down. We see a response. And is Chlorgas just at tech 2 going to drop to... Chlorgas must be on tech 3. No, he's just tech 2 and he just dropped on CARL170S. A tech 2 ACU drop, a very risky maneuver. I mean, you can drop into a whole bunch of engineers. CARL170S with so much more build capacity. He was denied the tech 2 upgrade, so he actually doesn't have any tech 2 engineers. So if CARL170S can get a bunch of tech 1, he could be in a decent shape. This is a very strange move from CARL170S. Looks like he was thinking about dropping this island, but then changed his mind, moved in. But tech 2 bombers coming in from CARL170S. Great support for his ACU. He's also doing some dodging. We see a lot of flak or tech 1 arty that came out, but I don't know what CARL170S is thinking at this point. Because now he's going to be forced into the water. He's making some tech 2, which is going to be denied. CARL170S ACU under strong fire from bombers. I can't say Chlorgas, these waters are very friendly, although no submarines whatsoever from this Navy, so no torpedoes yet for CARL170S. So both ACUs nearly dead, actually. Both forced into the water. No, great move from Chlorgas. He just gets out. So you can say it was a tech 2 bombing assault coupled with ACU drop. Very interesting stuff from Chlorgas. And meanwhile, see the maps for the most part split in half. We do see tech 2, actually no, just tech 1 Navy. And a bit of a small naval engagement. But torpedo bombers from Chlorgas moving in. This is going to put CARL170S in quite a bit of trouble. He's going to have to get out of the water because these torpedo bombers will kill him. Otherwise, this tech to power would have been a great target, but CARL170S holds on to it. So, gotta say minimal losses for CARL170S. He narrowly dodged death, but you can say the same thing of CARL170S. And CARL170S right away, just instead of going home, he's going to go ahead and take one of the islands. So this is going to be 4 versus 2 situation. And torpedo bombers still lurking around, but now CARL170S back on land. Some tech 2 engineers going to get tech 2 shields. Basically deny the tech 2 air ability to kill his ACU, but this is going to be a very strong base for CARL170S with the tech 2 tech. Gunships moving out to the other, so beautiful use of cyber and tech 2 air, just aggression all over the place. And these gunships are going to create all kinds of problems. Tech 1 flak trying to do something and actually upgrading mass extractors dying, so huge amounts of mass are going to be lost by CARL170S. CARL170S working on Janus bombers. I think I would disagree with that choice. You just spam a whole bunch of tech 1 interceptors, you can deny this whole tech 2 nonsense. The big problem though for Chlorgas or for CARL170S is this island, because now there's a bunch of engineers supported by tech 2, and Chlorgas is going to go ahead and go back home. This is something very rarely seen, such a good use of ACUs in this map. Usually people don't take such risks. But of course a tech 3 ACU drop is a classic way to win this. But it can be denied pretty effectively by good scouting. Sometimes people just rush a tech 3 ACU, something with EEF, fly across, drop, and then with a tech 3 ACU you can really win a 1v1 battle here. Since it was tech 2, CARL170S couldn't, or Chlorgas couldn't get his point defenses up quick enough, and CARL170S just had too much build capacity. Tech 3 air now from CARL170S. I'm not really sure what he's thinking there. I'm not sure ASF is the answer. I think massive amounts of tech 1 would be the answer, but instead CARL170S going with tech 2 Janus, which are going to be easily denied by this amount of interceptors. I'd love to see tech 2 land from CARL170S. Riptides and tech 2 flak really make a big difference on this map. But the gunships from Chlorgas continue to assault, and now we're going to see tech 2 air from CARL170S try to take away one of Chlorgas' side islands. He also has a tech 1 Navy in support, so we're going to see a first tech 1 naval engagement. It looks like big numbers for Japanese Chlorgas, he also has stealth and aerial assault. So this looks like a bit of raiding and not too much of a hope of winning a naval battle from Carlitos, but still good pressure. Otherwise, Chlorgas here, Tech 3 Air Factory. He's working on his third Tech 2 power generator, so not too much power. He's got a lot of Tech 1, but mostly gunship spam from that Tech 3 Air Factory. Tech 3 Air Factory is still not finished for Carlitos. Carlitos has resource allocation, so he has huge amounts of power. So Carlitos does have a power advantage over Chlorgas, which would mean with Tech 3 Air, he could be in very good shape. But in Navy, he's got major problems here, minute 20. Yeah, it looks like he's going to lose most of it. And with this amounts of Tech 1, Carlitos could be in danger of just losing Navy outright. He's got a couple Tech 1 factories. This is not enough production with Navy. But one thing we got to say about Tech 1 Navy, of course, if Chlorgas was to lose air, he would lose all these ships quite easily to some Tech 2 gunships. Looks like a massive drop being readied. Tech 2 drop from Chlorgas. It doesn't look like it's been spotted, but it's going to have to avoid some Tech 1 interceptors. Looks like it's been spotted. Good thing about UEF transports, they are pretty quick and they actually do have some anti-air, but you do not want to fly next to such a big cloud of interceptors. Looks like they finally do outrun. That's why Tech 3 Air is so powerful. Looks like it might be a successful drop. Excellent stuff from Carlitos. Made it all the way to Chlorgas base. Not really sure how much stuff he'll be able to kill. Tech 2 power definitely be the best target, or engineers. But it doesn't look like it's going to cause too much damage. But he is going to see Strat bombers. Chlorgas going with Tech 3 Air. And this is where we're going to see combination of Tech 2 Air and Tech 1 Navy start picking away at Carlitos' superior Tech 1 Navy. Never underestimate that torpedo bombers against Tech 1. This is looking like a really good base for Carlitos. And actually, for Chlorgas, he could actually get some cruise missiles perhaps here. Should look really nice. Put some pressure on Carlitos' main base. Carlitos now with ASF and actually a drop, a Tech 2 drop. And Strat bombers now for Chlorgas going after Tech 2 mask extractors. One thing about Cybern, they are stealthy, but their Strat bombers do not take out a Tech 2 mask extractor in one pass, which really is a big disadvantage for Cybern Tech 3 bombers. But of course, if you're going against ACUs and things like that and you're trying to be sneaky, they are by far the best bomber. Tech 2 Navy now coming out for Chlorgas. Be nice to see some cruisers from him. He does have nice submarines, stealth, but he is not going to win the air here. Chlorgas with that Tech 3 Air Factory also getting Tech 3 power. He should be able to dominate air here, and his Janus bombers should be able to take care of the situation, but his map control issues are pretty large here. I mean, he looks like he dropped on this island, denied a couple of mask extractors, but it's very difficult to take away an island with the Tech 2 point defenses on it without a use of Navy or some more powerful units. And here's a destroyer. That's going to create all kinds of problems that will deny the Tech 2 air production. We also see ASF from Captain Chlorgas in the area. But UEF Navy here with some cruisers and shields. Carlitos needs a whole bunch of this to have any chance. Looks like at his base he has a huge eco. He's got Tech 3, and we've seen from Carlitos he is oftentimes content with building up a huge eco and not worry too much about map control and then go ahead and win the game. He is now moving out with a shield and a cruiser, and that will grab him this island eventually unless Chlorgas does something about it. Of course, Carlitos did lose his only expansion island against Superior Tech 2 force, but there's going to be an ASF fight that Carlitos should win. Actually, Carlitos is a really good ASF fighter. He has played thousands of games on Setons, so I totally have confidence in his naval and air abilities. And against Cyber Navy, of course, any Setons player knows if you got air control, Cyber Navy is not a problem at all. Unless, of course, you're facing something like 5 to 10 cruisers. then that's a problem. It looks like a Tech 2 drop coming in from Carlitos, or can't keep their names straight, yeah, from Captain Florgas is going to try to grab this island here, minute 30. And this cruiser here is going to get a lot of kills. I don't see any TMD, so it's just a matter of time. And here comes a Tech 1 force. Looks like it's not enough. There's a destroyer here, but it's an inferior force to what Florgas has. Florgas also dropping off a bunch of Manti. So Tech 1 land units being used at minute 30 because they're cheap, they're great, they will get the job done, and they won't be shot at. Another drop coming in from Captain Florgas. But looks like this was a mistake there from Carlitos. He's going to have to retreat with the destroyer. It's just very much outgunned. Torpedo bombers coming in from Florgas, or Carlitos. If he can pick off this destroyer and those submarines, the UEF destroyer should be able to deal with quite a few cruisers. And instead of the destroyer, frigate was targeted, a bit of an overkill. ASF from Captain Florgas, and of course ASF numbers are going to be critical. They're actually quite close. Tech 2 bombers for Carlitos, and in the middle a rather big navy building up for Florgas. And with these cruisers, he can be in good shape. And at this point, Florgas, he's very well denied both expansions for Carlitos. Perhaps the best move for him is just to hang back, perhaps, get as much reclaim as possible, get his main base to all Tech 3, get huge amounts of power, which is what he's doing, keep air control, and just see what Florgas decides to do. Because you don't want to just throw away any of your forces. He does have something to deal with. This has been a very successful cruiser. Created all kinds of problems on this island, and looks like eventually the Tech 2 bomber should be able to take care of it. Expect drops from Carlitos. But now this navy is going to go against one of Florgas expansions, and now a direct assault from Florgas on the Carlitos naval production. And actually Carlitos loses naval production, he'd be in huge amounts of trouble. Significant Tech 2 force and an air battle, which looks like Carlitos is winning, at least locally. There's a whole bunch of SF just sitting by for Florgas. They need to come in, start fighting. That's a nuke from, oh, this is such a tragic place to put a nuke for Florgas. He's already working on the warhead, but that is going to be in firing range of Florgas's navy. I don't know if this was a good move. This is so much mass that Carlitos could have put into his navy. Instead he put it into a nuke, and now he's got a very expensive thing to defend with a couple shields. I don't understand why Tech 2 bombers are allowed to live, though. I'd like to see Florgas come in and clear the air. Carlitos just has his ASF patrolling over some cruisers, so given it enough time, they're all going to die. And it looks like now Florgas is going to come in and win air. Meanwhile, we see a total collapse of a navy from Carlitos. His production has really dwindled down. The nuke is being constructed. Actually, a victory for Florgas here in the back. And that other navy from Carlitos may have assaulted Florgas's main base, but didn't cause too much problems. Tech 3-point defenses from Carlitos. Those will counter any ships that are not careful, but of course the Cyber Destroyer can outrange the Tech 3-point defense just by, I believe it's 75 versus 80 kilometers. So you really got to play your ranges close. It looks like that one wasn't playing its ranges correctly. And UEF using his weapons quite nice. And this is going to make it interesting. If that nuke is finished and Florgas gets nuked here on his main base, I don't see an anti-nuke. That will very much turn the game on its head, because all this Tech 3 power very much concentrated in this region, so much build capacity. Without this, Florgas has more map control, but he's going to lose a lot of his resources. Although Carlitos having major problems, he got power problems. His naval and another round of Tech 2 naval coming in. Might take a little bit of patience from Florgas just to use the range and Now he's going to target the nuke directly. Shield's going down. Yeah, and these destroyers staying out of range of the Tech 3 point defense. Also Strat bombers attacking the nuke, and I think that's going to be the last hopes for Carlitos. The nuke is destroyed. Quite tragic, I think. I think Carlitos, a couple more Tech 3 point defenses could have denied this turn of events. It would have been really exciting, I think, if he would have pulled that off, but perhaps a little too much to ask for. He still has a decent turtle, and he does have air control locally. And his Tech 2 bomber has actually been pretty brutal, different places on the map, but he's got to start from scratch in his naval production, and he's got to start it right next to a frigate. That's just gonna pick up a lot of kills on those engineers. So Tech 2 Air versus Tech 2 Navy. Tech 2 Navy causing all kinds of damage on Carlitos base. A fatty from Carlitos. Okay, so that's a bit of desperation. That's a lot of mass. The nuke has been restarted. An ASF coming in from actually both Chlorgas and Carlitos, and it looks like Carlitos keeps winning air. He's got some nice Tech 3 anti-air over his main base, and Tech 2 bombers taking out destroyers. So once again, successful defense from Carlitos, but he lost two major things: his nuke and his entire naval production. So the next wave of Tech 2 ships from Carlitos or from Chlorgas are going to be even more difficult to defend. Of course, in the meantime, I expect, yep, here comes an anti-nuke, so that the nuke threat is no longer really viable against really the only target. Nuking one of these expansions is not going to make a huge impact. Carlitos now with a fatty here, min 42, and that is going to deny any kind of naval assaults, but it will not prevent huge map control from Chlorgas and eventually, I imagine, air control, which will lead to Strat bombers killing Carlitos. But we'll see if that's what actually happens. Perhaps there is a lot of reclaim for Carlitos in this position. If he can get a good navy going once again, so he needs a lot of build capacity to do that, he could be in a decent shape. But losing that nuke was such a big problem. But here comes the fatty. It is now finished. The nuke is also finished. You got to say there are still 3 Tech 3 power generators for Carlitos. In terms of power, he's in good shape. His build capacity is very low. He lost a lot of engineers. And he's got Tech 3 mass extractors, which are in the process of dying. But this fatty is going to get a lot of kills. He's already got 5. A couple more destroyers kill a Tech 3 power generator. And looking at the base here from Captain Chlorgas, he's got 4 Tech 3 powers. He's sitting on the edge of the map. Tech 3 ACU is going to get more power. Huge build capacity. So many more engineers. That's one thing we can check here, minute 45. The engineers are about 600 for Chlorgas, while Carlitos here is sitting at only about 100. That's a huge disparity in build capacity. And we saw all that excess mass that Carlitos has that just can't use. He has rebuilt his Tech 3 power. But of course, engineers can be rebuilt very quickly. Here comes a Tech 3 assault. It's just a bunch of ASF flying in from Captain Chlorgas. And this is definitely a place you want to fight your air battles if you're Carlitos. And Tech 3 Navy now coming in from Chlorgas. Minute 46. I don't see anybody who's ever watched this game or played it how they can deny the value of tech levels. It just makes the game more interesting. You get new things happening over and over, instead of people just fighting with Tech 1 frigates this whole time, and then you get a special unit like a destroyer, and that's all you have. That extra third tier allows a whole battle to happen in the first 2 tiers, and then instead of having just a ceiling that you bump your head up against, you get a new tier that can that brings you weapons, really the turtle breaking weapons in land and navy, and of course in air with the Strat bombers. It's really that game-ending stage. But that isn't clear to people, so whatever. So it looks like Strat bombers for Chlorgas. He is thinking about finishing this game up. And if actually Carlitos can survive an aerial assault, he'll be in a decent shape. There's a whole bunch of strike bombers sitting by for floor gas. But now this battleship is going to take a lot from the shields. And if you have a fatty and you want to protect your ACU from an aerial assault, you can put your ACU under the shield. It's a 20,000 health shield. So Tech 3 shield, 15,000, fatty shield, another 20,000. Each bomb from Strat Bomber is, I guess, a little less than 3,000 for Cybern. It's all around 3,000 for different factions. So you can do that math. If you need at least 10 bombs dropped to break through both of the shields, assuming, of course, your power doesn't stall. And here, battleships versus a fatty. But of course, these battleships will take away a lot of the health from these shields. See scouting. But these Strat Bombers might not. Oh, this is a lot of Strat Bombers now. One thing to note, Carlitos still ahead. Minute 51, he has reclaimed 64,000. Floor gas only 36,000. That's really been the difference. So if you go on an assault and you don't beat a player, they will reclaim all your dead units as well as their own. So they're not really losing their unit. So really the time you lose a unit is when you go on an assault with it and you lose it in your enemy's base. If you lose it for defense, you just pick up that mass and rebuild it. And your ability to do that is basically your ability to create units, which is your factories and the total number of engineers. If that is pretty clear to you, then I think you're in pretty good shape in understanding the game. So here comes a huge wave of cruise missiles attempting to snipe this battleship. The battleships gets out of the way, but we do have naval production and actually battle cruisers. So Carlitos showing definitely knows his naval game with the UEF. Battle cruisers are going to be very nice, although they will be outranged by these battleships. And a nuke. Carlitos actually does get a nuke off. This nuke, well, if he shoots at the main base, he's definitely trying to, the obvious target, but it is already defended. Oh wow, this is great placement of the nuke from floor gas. He just put it just outside the range. Instead of going for the juicy target here, he just denied the entire naval production. Carlitos, excellent stuff. Excellent use of that nuke. So no more new navy from Chlorgas, although he still has huge amounts of Tech 3 navy that is built up. But now he has to worry because there is naval production from Carlitos. And we can't forget about the Strat Bombers. Strat Bombers are coming in. This may be the end of the game here, minute 54. Oh, that's as close as it gets. The fatty died, and then the battleship shell ends it. But so close. I think if Carlitos could have got under that other Tech 2 shield, he could have survived. Extremely close, minute 55. Excellent game between two great players. Hope people enjoyed this one.